Good morning, everyone. We welcome you to Boise, Idaho, where we are live from the Lincoln Turf Field here at Boise State University. I'm Moses Famino on the call today, and joining me is Alex Simone, as we have women's rugby here for you today on Boise State University Television. For the match today, we have Boise State's women's rugby versus Oregon State's women's rugby. Alec, can you help me introduce these two teams today?
For sure. Well, Boise State's head coach is a first-year head coach, Connor Williams. He has a pretty extensive rugby history. He says the girls are excited to play today. He has some state championships at Mountain View High School on the men's and women's side. We have a couple of seniors here as well. I think today is the senior recognition game. We have Holly Bazinga and Olivia Wood today are the two seniors being recognized today for Boise State.
As well as Miranda Nelson.
And then on the Oregon State side, we have head coach David Dickinson. He said he's put a lot of work into the Oregon State women's rugby team this year. They have about 18 to 19 returning players, but 25 new players. And many of them, he said, haven't even really got that much rugby experience. So he's excited today. They're coming in with a 0-0 record. They haven't played a game yet, so this is a big game for them to get some experience. On the Boise State side, they're coming in at 1-1. Head coach Connor Williams said that he's excited just to throw people into the fire and see what happens.
100%. As you said, Connor Williams looking to get this Boise team off on the right note with some new tactics. Some new tactics here for the Boise State women's rugby team. Starting off, switching from an interior-focused attack to a more spread-out attack, trying to use all 60 meters of the pitch today. Alec, as an ex-rugby player yourself, how is the conditioning and all that? How do you prepare for a change of that size?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I used to be an athlete, not so much anymore. I think if I was down there right now, I think about 10 minutes of rugby play would just about kill me. But yeah, I'll tell you right now, spreading the ball out all 60 meters and running back and forth is it's a challenge. It takes a lot of conditioning. We're fortunate today that we have a pretty cool day, so the girls will stay cool, but hydration is key. And one thing that you might not think about with rugby is subs aren't actually a big thing. Traditionally in rugby, if you sub a player out, it's actually against the rules to put them back in. So yeah, I think the key for them today is going to be passing the ball. You know, the more juking you do, the more you're going to wear yourself out. It's a lot more efficient to pass the ball off. So I think that could be a key for Boise State.
100%. I could not agree more. I believe controlling the play today and maintaining possession is going to be the key to victory. Looking at the Beavers, though, as you noted, a ton of new players on their side. We have 11 fresh rookies making their first collegiate debut, including 4 in the starting 15. So, Alec, how do you incorporate these new players that haven't really played the game before? How do you get them comfortable out here on the pitch today?
Well, I think it's really exciting. I think they're really fortunate to have some returning players and some veteran players on their team, especially with so many. I mean, the majority of their team is not only new to Oregon State rugby, but new to rugby in general. So, I mean, I know Boise State's head coach said the best way to learn how to play rugby is to play rugby. I think that applies for Oregon State today. I mean, they're going to have about 4 new starters for this match. So, I mean, they haven't played a game today or this season either. So I think that today's match is just going to be big for them. It's going to be a good stepping stone, a good foundation to build upon.
Without a doubt, as coach.
We got the Boise State rugby team getting pretty excited. It looks like they're getting their little rah-rah chant going. Oregon State might be looking for a counter here for the pregame.
Agreed. As Coach David Dickinson noted earlier, they've had a couple great weeks of practice building up to this. So looking for some of that to translate onto the game pitch today. And we are almost ready to get underway here in Boise, Idaho. It's a beautiful but chilly fall morning here at the Lincoln Turf Field. We have fans filling in, and we are excited to be presenting this for you guys today. Again, this is part one of a doubleheader of rugby. We have the women's going now, and we will have men's rugby later in the day. So we got rugby coverage for you all day long, so stay tuned. We wanted to thank our sponsor, St. Luke's, for being the sponsor of Boise State Club Sports.
Sporting the uniforms today, too.
Helping provide these brand new uniforms for these ladies.
Look real good.
They are looking great, looking sharp. We're getting on the pitch. We're taking formation. We are about to kick off here.
Looks like Oregon State will be kicking off to Boise State. Head coach Connor Williams said he's really excited about these new uniforms. Kind of the start of a new era is what it sounded like. They've been sporting the old ones for about 6 years, so today is their debut as we get set to kick off. The referee there in the middle looking like he's checking for everybody to get set on this cold, cold Treasure Valley morning. Here we go.
And props to our fans and the players today. They've been out here all morning long, getting the field ready, getting prepared. But you guys should be thankful. You have the best seat in the house today, inside, nice and cozy. We're excited to present this for you all. Let's get underway here.
We'll get the ready call from Oregon State. And here come the
underway.
Beavers.
Boise taking possession. Working up this near side of the field right now.
Trying to get to the outside, getting dangerously close to the out-of-bounds line.
Great tackle by Oregon, forcing a ruck. Boise State maintains possession.
Big contact there, and she's still going.
Another tackle by Oregon. Another ruck, but Boise again maintains possession and is now switching the field, trying to work the outer half now. The ruck again, controlled by Boise.
Oh, getting pretty physical.
We're swinging out. Back again to the near side.
Oh, she's got to be careful getting close to that out-of-bounds line. It could be a turnover here. And we have a whistle from the referee.
We do.
Advantage Boise State. Oh, there's a lot of space out on that left side if they get vertical. Oh, and that's going to be a knock. Should be a change of possession here in the favor of the Beavers.
And it is. Oregon taking their first possession of the game. Tossing the ball into the scrum.
Advantage Oregon State. It looks like their number 9 will be tossing the ball in there, and that is
Kayla Stanley.
Kayla Stanley, indeed. You know, one thing I can see already, Boise State, they're trying to work on getting the ball outside, but instead of passing it, they're running laterally, not getting a lot of up and down north and south movement. But you know, they are in Oregon State's territory right now.
And it is exactly as Coach Williams noted before the game. They are definitely using all 60 meters of the pitch, trying to spread out the Oregon State defense and find some holes that they can carve up field with.
Sure are taking their sweet time with the scrum, I'll tell you that much.
We'll have some added time at the end of that for sure.
Oh, and
Controlled by the Beavers. Nice tackle there by Boise State, forcing a ruck, and Oregon State maintains possession.
Oh, no whistle yet from the referee.
We do have a knock on, it seems, and we got another scrum here. Advantage Boise State.
If you're just now joining us, we are hosting UTP's broadcast of Boise State's women's rugby versus Oregon State's women's rugby. We have an exciting day of rugby today. After this game, we'll have Boise State men's versus Washington men's, so stick with us for that as Boise State takes the ball out of the scrum. It's going to be a forward pass. Yeah, can't do that in rugby.
going to be Oregon State advantage here in this scrum. And Alex is an ex-rugby player. 15s, obviously a little bit more defensive, not as much room to work. How do tactics change compared to 7s?
Well, for starters, the halves are a lot longer. 7s halves are about 7 to 8 minutes typically, versus a 40-minute half for 15s. Definitely a more physical game. I mean, everything's bigger, badder, a lot more chance to get hurt. But, you know, explosive plays typically are limited. They're more rare, but that just makes it more exciting.
100%. Oregon maintaining possession in their own half of the field.
Tough running there.
Oh, big contact there.
Oh, and she's driving still.
Yep.
She's got her whole team behind
to
her.
Go down. We got a penalty called here by the referee. It's looking like Boise State advantage here for the scrum.
Not exactly sure why. I didn't see what happened in there.
Us Broncos fans won't complain.
They went a problem with the scrum here.
Seems we went a little early. Ladies are fired up, ready to go.
Yeah, you know, with this being their first game and all, I know a lot of times the scrum can be a pretty anxiety-inducing thing.
For
so
sure.
Sometimes people will push a little bit early, sometimes not. Not sure if that's what the problem was, but for a first game, you know, butterflies are probably up and high right now.
Without a doubt.
Okay, we got another problem. Looks like we're abandoning the scrum. Boise State will just take the kick. And what you'll see here, she'll just tap it real quick, just like that, and they're going to try to get the ball out wide here, more than likely.
Yep.
Some good passing.
Back underway here, swinging to the far side.
Good rucking here. They look set.
Boise doing a great job of maintaining possession and switching the field, as coach said pregame.
Oh, and a turnover.
Unfortunate turnover. The Broncos closing in on Oregon State's try zone. We have advantage played to Oregon State. They're going to get possession and try and swing momentum back in their favor as they've been kind of pinned down. Nice kick there to try and switch the fields, but
That's got to be really frustrating for Boise State. That's as deep into Oregon State territory as they've made it, and it looks like they'll get reset here. Ooh, tough rucking here.
we're rucking right on the out.
Yeah, I was expecting a whistle there. See, when you come in on the ruck, you actually have to keep both legs on either side of the person on the ground. You can't come in from the side. So that's always something to look out for a quality ruck. And that's going to be a knock.
Turnover here by Oregon. Boise State maintaining possession. Nope. Got to stop it in the play because of the knock-on by the Beavers. We're going to have another scrum here. Advantage Boise State.
About 8 minutes into play here, no scoring. Not too surprising, both teams are relatively early in the season. Boise State's been keeping the ball on Oregon State's side of the field, though. It's got to be frustrating for Oregon State. I don't even think they've crossed the halfway point.
I was going to say, we have been in the Boise State attacking half this entire game so far.
Oh, this looks like it could be a big play.
And number 9 for Boise State, Hannah Nguyen, with a great run upfield, driving Boise State into Beaver territory. But we have another stoppage in play here by the referee. We're going to have another scrum, and it's going to be advantage Boise State. I apologize. It is going to be advantage Oregon State.
Some real scrum issues today.
We're gonna have a lot of added time here.
I wish I was a fly on that referee's shoulder so I could hear what exactly is going wrong, but well, in the meantime, if you're just now joining us, we have Boise State Bronco women's rugby hosting the Oregon State Beavers. The score is 0-0. It's been a good physical game so far. No scoring yet, but Boise State seems to have been in control for most of the match.
Definitely controlling possession, controlling the pace of play so far, but Oregon now with possession looking to change that. Tackle by Boise forcing a great ruck.
Oh, and she finds a hole. Her team's not with her, though. She's going to lose possession. Oh, they come for the ruck. Yep, there goes Boise State ball, and she's going to be wide to the outside, and she misses the pass. What a shame.
Got it out of bounds here. It's going to be a line out, I believe, for Oregon State.
Looks like that's what they're setting up for right now. And some line-out issues, it looks like here. Yeah, you know, for those who might not be as familiar with rugby rules, it's actually not a good thing to go out of bounds. Typically, you know, in a comparable sport like football, if you go out of bounds, it's the end of the play and you maintain possession. If you go out of bounds in rugby, it actually flips possession, kind of similar to soccer here. So you want to stay in bounds. That's kind of the danger with getting the ball wide outside like Boise State's head coach wants to do. But, you know, at this point, up until, I guess just now, it was favoring Boise State, but it looks like Oregon State's going to take back over possession.
Yep, and we are near the midway point in the field. Oregon State looking to get in their attacking half.
Oh, and we're just playing politics right now. We just can't seem to get this game on the move. Not sure who the advantage. Looks like it's going to be Oregon State advantage here.
Oregon State trying to communicate at the back there, see if they can figure out some of the issues on the defensive side of the things.
Well, I wonder if they're trying to figure out some kind of play to run. They actually have numbers advantage outside right now. If they can swing the ball out wide, there's a chance for big play and another whistle.
They were doing exactly as you said, Alex, until the whistle. So great call there. But we have another stoppage in play. Can't seem to get into a flow yet so far, as we are now about 12 minutes into this matchup. But
you know, she took too long to kick that ball there. Boise State was struggling to get people wide out to the right. They could have had a big opportunity again. But up the middle they go here for some physical ball.
Beavers maintain control out of the ruck and continue to.
Oh, and they have a numbers advantage.
We got some room down the sideline here for.
And she's going to be out of bounds. Great defensive play right there.
Chloe Possert for Oregon State was breaking down the near side of the field, but stopped by the Boise State defense and forcing another line out.
And, you know, we have a great opportunity for a good angle of this line. Typically, whoever has advantage in the line out. So I think right now it looks like Boise State will be throwing it in. They're actually allowed to favor where they're throwing the ball. It won't be right down the middle, as you can see, just a little bit to the left, making it easier for their number 9 to come and grab it.
And a key win there as Boise State has found
forward pass. Yeah, it's the second time I think against Boise State today.
Oregon will maintain possession, a little over the halfway mark of the field.
And here we are going, excuse me, getting ready for another scrum. You know, I have to say, typically if one team is overmatched, they will lose the scrum pretty handedly, but I have to say, even though Boise State has more experienced players, I think strength-wise, these two teams look pretty evenly matched in the scrum.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll actually get one off here. Real even scrum there, no movement. A little bit of a Boise State
Ball
advantage.
just been tossed in.
The referee will say play on, and the ball is out.
Controlled by the Beavers.
Oh, real good opportunity for an offload to the 12 there. She was coming hard onto the ball, but ball carrier just did not see it. Oregon State ready to go up the middle here, looking to play some physical ball.
Great tackle by Boise. Oregon State has been just driving straight down the field. What a absorption of the hit there.
Big contact, straight pancaked her right there. And she looks hurt. Oh, no, she's fine.
But Oregon, their tactic is to just run it right down the Broncos' throat right now. And they're doing so, passing it around a little bit, creating space, and finding a gap and not hesitating for a moment, shooting right up the middle, gaining some distance, trying to get toward the try zone for the Beavers, but
it was nearly a forward pass on the Beavers. I'm surprised the referee did not call it, and looks like they'll continue to go up the middle here, but they might have an opportunity for an outside play if they can set up a ruck and a play here.
Yep. Oregon still maintaining possession. This has been our longest continuative flow until I had to go and jinx it.
Way to go, Moses.
But it is going to be Oregon State possession still. Great tackle there by the Boise State defense, but again maintained by Oregon State as they are working up the far side of the field now.
You know, one thing I'm seeing on both sides here is a lot of side-to-side running, and that can really be a coach's nightmare. Typically, what you want to do is pass the ball out wide instead of running.
Yikes!
And that's kind of been the problem. Oh, and that's going to be a knock, maybe.
We just had a sub for the Beavers. One of their players needing some medical attention on the sideline, but we're underway again. With Boise now maintaining possession at the midway line of the field.
Oh, and they might have a numbers advantage here to the outside. No offload, though. We get ready for the reset here and a whistle.
Stoppage and play by the referee, but
they'll keep going.
It's
going to be, it looks like a 10-meter penalty right there.
Great ruck. Possession control by the Broncos.
And her whole team's with her. You love to see that. You know, everybody's there to back her up. So get ready and out of this ruck.
Tons of support, tons of options for the Broncos. Looks like we have an illegal pick or something. What is it?
Not exactly sure what happened there, to be honest. It may have been
interference.
No. And that's going to be a knock. Real shame.
So Oregon winning the ball after the referee called a penalty. Boots it downfield past the halfway line. Boise State picks it up, unfortunately fumbles the ball, forcing a scrum with Oregon State possession in Boise State's half of the field.
Looks like we get another sub here, number 21 coming in for Oregon State. Some really tough rucking here. And they'll go out to the right side. Interesting decision, and she'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, I agree, Alex. Trying to work that short side of the field there, I guess, in that space and time. But
Yeah, typically going out around to the outside is a high risk, high reward kind of play, and you'll almost always see another pass back to the inside once you get it to your wing. But the decision to run around the ruck there, interesting one, possibly a creative one, but you know, sometimes this doesn't work out.
Boise State did maintain possession on the lineout, but we have a call, and we are setting up another scrum.
We're approaching the halfway point of this first period here, still 0-0. Moses, what do you think's been the most exciting part about this game so far? What are you seeing?
So far, there's been some really good hits, really great tackling and defense from both sides. You know, Boise was knocking on the door right there a couple of minutes ago, but the Beavers stood tall, stood on their dam, as some might say, and kept things 0-0 here.
0-0 indeed. As we found out in the pregame, nil is a Latin word for 0.
Oregon State maintaining
And they got numbers advantage to the outside, but their wing's a little slow. And she breaks through. It's looking like it's going to be a try here.
Amelia Shoemaker breaking it off for the first try of our game for the Beavers. Didn't look like she had an angle there, but she apparently thought and saw differently as she found her way to the try zone for our first score of the day.
I mean, yeah, and that was just some tough running. You know, I thought she was going to get wrapped up there, but she burst through a couple of arm tackles there and finds her way to the try zone. It'll be 5-0 as we get ready for this conversion here.
And she went in the middle of the field, so should be a fairly simple conversion here for the Beavers.
She's getting lined up here.
Beavers kicker is number 9, Kayla Stanley.
And that'll be good.
And it's good.
Putting them up 7-0. You know, I want to talk about the importance of getting to the middle when you get into the try zone.
Yeah.
Wherever you place the ball down, so to score a try, you actually have to place the ball down into the try zone on the ground with pressure.
Yep.
And wherever you do that is the line vertically down the field that you will kick the ball from. So for most players, they want to be right down the middle. Maybe depending on the player, you want to be shaded a little bit to the left or right, but it just gives you better opportunity, you know, to score the conversion like they did there as we kick off right now. Some slippery hands, and you know, we've seen some hands problems today. You know, I don't think it actually has anything to do with skill. You know, I've been sitting up here in the broadcast booth the entire time with my hands in my pockets. Their hands are probably just cold out there, folks. I have to say, it's tough to catch a ball when your hands are cold.
Without a doubt.
I think we're just about right at freezing here today. I know when we first got here, the turf was actually glazed with frost, and it slowly melted over the day.
Yep, so definitely dealing with
Here we go, Oregon State getting ready for their possession. Oh, and a kick out to the outside here. And it looks like it's going to go out of bounds. Looks like it'll be a line out here.
Hey Macy, we just wanted to say we're trying our best out here today, supporting these lovely women's sides and this exciting sport of rugby. So we're trying our best out here today. Oregon State carrying a mass of defenders there.
Here we go, the number 8 with the scrum cap, weaving her way through the defense. Go down, see a ruck here.
Yeah, it was close. Definitely close.
Definitely a close one.
Boise State getting close here.
A couple of these high passes here, pretty dangerous for Boise State. Yeah, typically you don't want to catch the ball over your head like that, but you know, passing to your left can be a lot more passing to your right can be a lot more difficult than passing to your left.
Colleen Van Note there for Boise State, pushing us very close to the try zone.
Nice one-handed catch right there as well.
Absorbed the contact as well.
And they're
just trying to power their way in here as we are very close.
Oh, and they'll spur it out wide. I don't think Oregon State saw this one coming. Is that going to be a knock? No, the Sir says play on.
Wow. Great drive there by the Broncos.
And they have a numbers advantage here. Oh, they're knocking on the door. Oh. They're right there. They're going to go right up the middle here. I don't think there's any stopping the Broncos right now. Or not, we'll go around to the outside.
Wow.
And they are pushing them out.
Oregon State with some great pushback right on the try line right there.
And pushing right back in here. Are we calling this try, folks? Come on.
Referees are having a little conversation.
I mean, the ball is in the try zone on the ground. And, you know, I have to... If I was going to speculate, I'm going to speculate that they probably didn't see the ball go down. So they're probably trying to figure out what to do, but that's just me.
A couple of the Boise State players are celebrating as if they did score a try. And it is confirmed. Try for Boise State. Their first of the day. Coming right back from the Beavers, who just scored a couple minutes ago, but the Broncos now on the board. We are currently at 7-5 with the conversion coming up.
It's going to be a bit of a tougher kick than it was for Oregon State, but absolutely not impossible.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting. Boise State's head coach, Connor Williams, was saying he wants to get the ball out wide, but I feel like on that scoring drive, we saw a lot of power running right up the gut there, even all the way down to the last play there.
Agreed. Very similar to how the Beavers got in for their try. Just minimal passing, finding a little gap, and shooting right up the middle.
And that was fun to watch there on the far side corner. It's playing tug of war. You know, the Beavers pushed him back out. Tries in, or excuse me, not the try. The conversion is in.
Good.
We're going to be tied up at 7-7. 13 minutes and 37 seconds left in this half. And if you're just now joining us, you are watching UTP's production of Boise State versus Oregon State women's rugby. Stick with us after this game. We will be hosting Boise State's men's rugby against the University of Washington Huskies.
And again, the women's rugby team for Boise State is sporting new kits, new jerseys, and that is a big part of St. Luke's being their sponsor. They are the sponsor for Boise State Club Sports overall, so just a big shout out to them. We're underway here.
Some good power running here. Looks like they're going to stick with that formula for now.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, possible big play, and she gets wrapped up there, close to midfield. Oh, they've got space on the wide side. They got to get the ball out. Just struggling to pass there, you know. Still have numbers, and Oregon State will close the gap, but we still have a big play here as they approach.
Bree Fry.
Big play here for 12.
Huge run. Brought down right before the try zone.
And
Boise State maintaining possession here.
And this is going to be a try.
And we have a successful try for Boise State.
Really explosive play there. And I have to say the most impressive part was when you have a big play there, sometimes not every player that you want to offload to or have behind you to ruck is able to make it with you, but Boise State was able to do that when she went down there close to the try zone. Their players were there to back her up and ruck, and they got the ball out, and they're rewarded with another try here as we're up 12-7 with the conversion on the way.
Man, quite the turn of events there for the Broncos. A very slow start that first 20 minutes, no scoring for either side. The Beavers get on the board, and the Broncos come back with 2 tries of their own to now take a 12-7 lead. And the kick on the conversion is no good.
Just short, it was accurate.
Perfectly accurate, but just a little bit short. The Broncos again maintaining 12-7 lead with 11 minutes to go in the half. Alec, what did you see there? What is there a reason for this switch of energies, or what do you got?
Well, you know what I think is happening here? We're approaching close to the end of the first half, and I think players are out there just tired. You know, it's tough to sub in rugby.
Yeah.
And you know, as you get worn down, you know, especially with this physical play, when you run it up the gut, players get tired, and then all of a sudden, you know, you just might not have the energy or the conditioning to go and wrap up somebody who's got a big play. And you know, when you get a big play like that down to the try zone, as a defensive player, you have to run all the way back in front of the ball. It's just a tough thing.
Without a doubt. And as Coach David Dixon for Oregon State said, bunch of new players, first time out here for many, so definitely going to be a learning curve on the conditioning side of things.
Great job staying in bounds right there. She was danger close. Good offload. You saw her there looking for a second offload, but decided to protect the ball first. And they've got numbers on the left side here as they pass out. Getting close to that out of bounds mark. She brings it back in, offload to the left.
Angles, yeah.
Yeah, this is just something that can kill a defense, you know, just constantly on the retreat. You know, we're back in Oregon State territory again.
Yep, they're definitely on their heels.
And they have numbers again to the right side of the field.
Wow, what a run there.
Oregon State is really contesting those defensive rucks, I have to say. It's really impressive, but they're just not quite getting home.
Yep.
They're right there to the outside. Looks like an out-of-bounds play here. Tough to see from our angle here, but it looks like they're getting ready for a line out.
I agree. We are blocked by the beautiful fall trees here, but
it's tough to see who will be throwing in. Looks like Boise State advantage. Or is this going to be a scrum?
ooh,
We apologize for you folks watching at home. We have some massive but beautiful trees, though dead, blocking our vision.
and it is in fact a line out. Oregon State will be tossing the ball in.
Really disappointing there, you know, and I can only imagine they're going to kick the ball right back to where Boise State started. Oh, unless something like that happens. Looks like they're going to call Boise State ball here as Oregon State boots it out of bounds. Looking like another line out here, advantage Boise State.
Yeah, the Oregon State clear attempt did roll out of bounds, so won by the Broncos.
And they're going to go right up the gut here. It's a dogfight in there as they get it out to the left. Really nice offload, and they have numbers to the left. No doubt try here. Really exciting stuff right there from the Broncos as we have 7 minutes left in the first half.
They're in for their third try of the day, third in the last 10 minutes.
You know, as a head coach, I got to say I'd be a lot happier with these last 2 possessions from Boise State. You know, they're working on passing the ball out wide when they have numbers. That's the tough thing on the defense. If you're not matching the offense 1-for-1 anywhere on the pitch, it can be difficult to defend. And, you know, in rugby practice, they practice winning 2 offensive players versus 1 defensive player, 4 offensive players versus 3 defensive player. Mathematically, you just have the advantage, and right there we saw that take place, and Boise State gets in for the score as we get ready here for the conversion.
As Boise State's head coach, Coach Williams, said before the game, the only way to learn rugby is playing it, and I believe the Beavers are learning that right now.
Well, they're certainly playing it right now.
For sure.
I can tell you that, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
For sure. But they're playing well. Looking to turn things around here before the half. We got 5:50 to go before halftime.
You know, as Oregon State, you just got to hope that you can get the ball back for any kind of significant time here as the half wraps up. You know, the last thing you want to do is give up more points with only 5.5 minutes left. I mean, best case scenario, obviously, you can get a score of your own, but you know, as we approach the half, they'll become rested for those minutes while they're at halftime, and it'll give them opportunity to maybe recoup and re-strategize.
Without a doubt. Great burst there by Rian Davis for Boise State.
Nice low grab there. Ball carrier looking a little indecisive as she offloads. Getting outside again are the Broncos.
Break into Oregon State territory. And I believe we're going to have a lineup. Oregon State advantage here as they are throwing it in.
Got a seagull flying over, looking to watch the game. Oh, he's getting danger close out there. Hopefully he's not dropping any bombs out there. All right, getting ready for this line out. And Boise State will recover it. Even numbers out here, but bad leverage for defense. And they get her down for the ruck.
Huge tackle there.
It's got to be tough. That's going to be a knock-on for the Broncos. Something I was just about to comment on, actually. They've eliminated a lot of their penalties up until this point. I think that's been another key reason that, you know, they've been able to score. They haven't had any interruptions to their offensive possessions.
Yeah, it was definitely a sloppy start for the Broncos, but as you said, turned things around these last 15 minutes or so. Been clean play, but we have a scrum here in favor of Oregon State.
Looks like Oregon State is going to have the advantage here. Some great scrum work in there.
Boise State with a little bit of push. But Oregon State maintains possession. Just trying to work this near side of the field.
Oh, that's got to kill you, man. It's right in your palm, right in the palm of your hands, and just slips right out.
As you said, Alex, the cold morning, the
Absolutely.
dew on the field, probably a little bit slick. There's a lot of factors playing into the drop balls this morning.
Absolutely. I mean, I brought mittens this morning. That's how cold it was earlier on as we were setting up. I can't imagine what it's like being out there in shorts, a t-shirt, and no gloves. But
Hitting bodies too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't feel good. But
on cold turf, on cold rubber turf,
Yep.
I mean, you see a lot of players out there wearing tights underneath to avoid the turf burn. I mean, it's a very physical sport out here. You know, it's typically played on grass, so.
As we said at the beginning of the broadcast, you at home, be thankful you have the best seat in the house for this game.
That was looking like a good inside play, but she just dropped the ball.
And Oregon, with about 1:30 left before added time, looking to get something up on the board to break into the Broncos' lead.
Looks like they're setting for a scrum here. Advantage Boise. Nope, advantage Oregon State now. I'm just going off of whoever's grabbing the ball right now. They just traded the ball back and forth there. Each team's number 9. And it looks like Oregon setting up for an offensive possession. And the easiest way to tell for you folks at home is on defense they want a flatter line, a big steel or iron curtain or an iron wall on defense. And that's what you're seeing on the left side for Boise State for their back players. Here on the offense, Oregon State, they have their players set up staggered so that way it's easier to pass down the line. Nobody has to run backwards and catch a backwards pass. It's going to be pivotal for Oregon State to maintain possession here if they want to get added time. Coming down the last 30 seconds of the half. And you can hear them yelling out there. They want to keep possession here. And she's driving, just almost broke loose, but not quite. Oregon State maintaining possession.
As the clock winds down.
3 seconds to extra time. Really seeing some intensity here from the Beavers, though. They are maintaining possession. We are in bonus time right now, folks.
They know this is a desperation mode for their team. Obviously, a lot of game left, but it would be nice to chip into this lead before the half.
Looks like we'll get the whistle here. And that will be the half as each team returns to their own sideline.
I'm surprised, considering all the stoppages we had. That was a pretty short additional period there.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a case-by-case scenario, but typically, as far as I understand, if the offense is driving and then turns over in bonus time, it's typically they're going to call the half there, unless like maybe they're right there on the try line, goal line situation. But yeah, probably not a bad decision to call it there by the Sir. But great opportunity for Oregon State. They had a defensive stand there. They didn't let the Broncos score again. And good opportunity for them to get rested up, get some water in them, and talk about the first half.
Without a doubt. And the Broncos head into this halftime with a 10-point lead, 17-7 over the Beavers.
And if you are just now joining us, folks, you can't read your screen. You are joining us for the Women's Club of Rugby, Boise State versus Oregon State. We got a 17-7 lead for the home team. And we got about 9.5 minutes before the next half, so good time to go to the bathroom, maybe grab a morning brewski, get ready for another half of rugby. After this game, stay tuned for us. University Television Productions here at Boise State will be broadcasting a men's game of 15s. It'll be Boise State versus the University of Washington, set to kick off around 3 p.m., I believe.
We got coverage for you guys all day long, so stay tuned.
Looks like they got one big huddle over there for Oregon State, but 2 smaller huddles for Boise State.
Yeah, we talked to the coaches before the game down there for Boise State. That is Coach
Boise State's head coach?
the assistant coach.
Oh, yes, that's Coach Bean, I believe. And then there's also assistant coach Noah.
Yep. Coach Noah down there talking to the defense, and Coach Bean out there talking to the forwards, trying to get things figured out in units, I'm assuming, before they come together as a team and get things worked out.
Well, hey, Moses, what was your favorite part about that first half? I think we have a good opportunity here to review.
Yeah.
Kind of what we saw. Good, exciting first half, I
For
think.
sure. Definitely a slow start, as we noted. Didn't get any scoring there for a while. Lots of stoppages in play, but I'd say about 25 minutes in, we kind of got a groove there in the game. Both teams were, picking up chunks and turning it over, and finally Oregon State broke through. And then I'd say that little 8-minute stretch there for Boise State, definitely my favorite part. Just took over the game, took over possession, control, and really just worked through the Oregon State defense. I like what do you got? Anything specific?
I mean, to be honest, I'm really impressed with Oregon State. I mean, I know the score might not exactly speak to it, but if you remember just, what was it, about 20, 25 minutes in, like you said, they were up 7-0. You know, they had a lead, and they held on to it for a while. But, I think just getting gassed as you get later into those halves, especially with how physical a game it's been so far, it's tough to kind of maintain discipline, I think, when it comes to tackling, and then also just conditioning. You get tired out there. It's a tough game. Lots of running, but really impressive stuff from Oregon State. I do not think they're by any means out of it. It's a 2-possession game right now. I mean, you think they scored 2 more tries and we get a tie ball game, but then that's without the conversions. If they get the conversions, I mean, they're up. They'll be up a few points there. But really good stuff. I think on the Boise State side, I love those new uniforms. Those are really slick. All black. Looks good. Going to be matching Boise State's football team today, also doing a blackout.
Yep.
Pretty exciting there. But
yeah.
And as we kind of move through this halftime here, one great thing about those new uniforms, they're sponsored by St. Luke's Hospital, official sponsor of Boise State Club Sports. We want to thank them for supporting club sports. It's not easy being a club sport athlete, I think. I remember I was talking to one of the men's rugby club players, and they say, for them, they pay big fees to be a part of the club and to compete and to travel, and a lot of that just comes out of the pockets of the coaches and the players. So, I recall one player was working like from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. on top of doing school and work, and it's tough being a club sport athlete. So St. Luke's really important there for the clubs.
Huge thank you to our sponsor. And if you guys at home would like to get involved, we have some donation links for you all at give.boisestate.edu. Select club sports, select women's club sports, and finally select women's rugby. They're looking to get back to the Lone Star Bowl, which is a game in Texas for a couple of the top teams in collegiate rugby. They've been there twice in the past 5 years or so and actually won it. So would love some donations to get this team back down there. They've been putting in the work. They deserve it. The least we can do is support them in reaching their goals. So.
Yeah, and I think it was the last 2 years, actually. Head coach Connor Williams was telling us before the game that they went there and won it. Just really impressive for the team. He said he's pretty confident that they'll get bids for the game. The only challenge this year, I think, has been getting games scheduled for them. And sometimes that comes down to it could be Boise State's fault. Sometimes it could be the opposing team. Sometimes, because what can happen is if you're playing a school that maybe doesn't have as big of a rugby team, maybe they're barely pushing it out to 15 players, 15, 20 players. I mean, you're a few injuries away or a few, sick people away from having to cancel a game. You just don't have enough players. So, I mean, rugby is a growing sport, definitely growing here in the Treasure Valley, Boise, Idaho, Meridian, Idaho, Nampa, and Garden City. But, sometimes things are out of your control. It's tough to schedule games, but, when you get an opportunity to watch one like these two great teams, it's always exciting.
Yep, without a doubt. As we infringe the Broncos now together in a group huddle, going over things as we wind down this halftime. About 3 minutes left before we resume play. Alec, as you said, this Oregon State team, a lot of new players, but looking good so far. Had the lead, as you said. What's it going to take for them to get back in this game as we get ready to get going here?
Well, one thing I was recalling really in my mind, because we don't have instant replay, unfortunately. We've seen a few arm tackles out there, struggling to wrap up. And I think They just got to get the ball outside, I think. I think that has been where both teams have had success. Running up the middle is a great way to gas the other team, but to be honest, I think that this halftime is a great opportunity for them to get rested. I mean, it looks like they're down there joking, smiling, having a good time. Oregon State is, but
Yeah.
I think some keys to the game for them are going to be to just really secure those tackles, group tackles as well. You want everybody flying to the ball, as well as just eliminating some of those penalties and good passing. You know, I mean, good passing goes a long way. I think every rugby head coach harps on that every practice. Good passing, good offloading, not running laterally. You want to get the ball out on a rope.
Yep.
Really important stuff there. Not stuff we've seen too much from either side, really. Been a lot of opposite of that, but it's really some good physical ball today, I think.
Without a doubt. And if the coach wouldn't have told us before the game that a lot of his players were new, would have never known that. They've looked good. They've looked solid as a unit.
I agree.
Just a couple defensive breakdowns there that caused points for Boise State. But overall, a great half of play for Oregon State in their first game.
Yeah, and you know, it hasn't been anything catastrophic, you know, like I haven't seen any just wide open on the outside, you know. I mean, they're contesting everything all the way down to the goal line. So, pats on the back for Oregon State. I think they're definitely still in this game. Boise State, on the other hand, I mean, all they got to do is hold on to the lead. Good tackling. I mean, as it stands now, they don't even have to score.
Yeah.
But that will be that as we're approaching the 1 minute mark for halftime. Not sure if we'll start right here on the dot, but getting close here. If you're joining us from home, thank you for watching and supporting Boise State Rugby, as well as University Television Productions putting on this broadcast. Stick with us later after this half, right around 3 p.m. Boise State Bronco men's rugby will be taking on the University of Washington. What's been your favorite part so far about this morning, Moses?
You know, it's been a really fun broadcast so far. This is my first broadcast for the television productions program, and
me as well.
Really enjoying it. Yeah, so
it's a good time up there.
It's fun up here. We have one of the better views in the house. So,
house, I would call it more of a parking garage, but absolutely a good view.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see how Boise State comes out in this half. We've been harping on this spreading out the field thing, as their coach mentioned, but they kind of got away from that when they put up points. So we'll see what they decide here as we are getting ready to get underway.
Let's see, looks like Boise State will be kicking off to the south side of the field, I believe.
Oregon State making some final communication things clear. Boise State ready to kick it off, get the second half underway.
Just heard somebody say, "We love rugby." Love to see the passion out there.
Yeah, we do.
And we will get the start whistle as the clock starts ticking and the kick is off.
Ooh, a laser beam.
Laser beam. That'll be a knock, unfortunately, for Oregon State right off the bat. Another turnover.
Just could not corral that hot kick right at her. Again, with the cold hands and all the other factors today, do not blame her.
Well, that really was just an absolute toe punch to her chest. I mean, that's going to be a tough catch. I can't blame her for that.
Probably going to leave a mark, too, with the cold, so. But we got a scrum here. Advantage Boise State. They win it.
Some real speed running here.
Little bounce pass there on the ground.
Yeah, not sure if she intended it, but it worked out pretty well. Oh, is that a turn? No,
wow.
Not a turnover. Boise State wins the ruck. Ball maintains a backwards direction, so Boise State will hang on to the ball. And they're just going to keep going right up the gun. Oregon State defense set well. Skip past there. And the wing. Wow. A little loosey-goosey with the ball, and Oregon State takes over.
Straight stripped that one cleanly and started breaking up the field.
It was really a mistake from their wing. I mean, that was a dangerous pass going down to the ground. And it resulted in Oregon State making a big defensive stop, unless, of course, they turn over because of penalty. Looks like they're getting ready for a scrum, though.
Referee's clarifying a couple things over there.
And it looks like
a little coaching moment from the referee there.
Yeah, looks like Oregon State will set their offense. They will maintain possession here. Big stop there. I mean, they were really close to the try zone. I mean, a couple of broken tackles, and you're looking at a Boise State, possibly like a 14-point lead there. Well, I guess they already have 14. No, I'm not very good at math, folks. I'm better at talking. They have a 10-point lead right now. Just hanging around right now, waiting for Oregon State, and they will kick it. Oh, and if only I remember the vocab term for what that kind of kick is called, but I believe there will be a line out following wherever that ball went out of bounds if the referee marks it. Oregon State advantage. Really important line out here. They do not want to screw this up.
Yep.
Want to hang on to the ball here and get a drive going.
Just trying to break into the midway point of the field.
And they do it. Great play there, and they'll get and they knock it. You gotta hate to see that if you're a Beavers fan.
Very unfortunate there for Oregon State. I think, Alex, as you said, just a little bit of butterflies, just trying to get things going.
A little bit of the cold too.
Yep.
I mean, if we're gonna get real technical here, actually, that rugby coaches will sometimes tell you to provide context to your passes, if you will. So if you got somebody running really close to you, you don't really want to necessarily throw a bullet at them. Normally you want to do a little pop pass, kind of like you're throwing an egg at them.
Yeah.
Make it easier for them to catch. So that is kind of what I think I saw happen there. It was a really tough, hard pass, but the distance between the two players wasn't that far. But you know what? Oregon State will take back over possession, luckily for them.
That was a great defensive strip there. Her teammates had the ball carrier wrapped up, and she came in and stripped the ball away.
Some good rightward passing there.
Strip there by Boise State. Ruck controlled by the Broncos.
I'm going to go right up the middle. I got to say, Oregon State's just struggling with ball control right now. Everything else really does look good. But that slippery ball, can't hang on to it.
Wow. Broncos made some room there on that ruck to maintain possession.
Absolutely did.
Great.
Really nice offering, actually. That was really impressive for her to get the vision there. And she's still going to keep driving. Nobody's stopping her until now. Looks like numbers are about even on the left side, and a big truck, and she's moving, and another one, and she goes up the middle.
That is our captain, Ali Franzak. She was actually the conference all-star captain last season for the all-star game, showing her skills there.
And you can absolutely see why. I mean, that was some really physical, powerful running. Knocked over two Beavers there on her way to the goal line. Not exactly sure What's happening? Oh, well, she scored a try. That's what happened. I thought she was a little short.
I
from
thought
my
she
view.
was short as well.
Yeah.
Allie, we apologize for that bad call. Great play there to break in for another Broncos try.
Absolutely right. And
Was too busy giving her credit about being an all-star captain.
I mean, hey, credit where credit is due. That was some really powerful running. I think that was probably the most exciting individual play we've seen today.
I agree.
Not boding well for Oregon State, though. I mean, this game is slowly starting to slip away, but I mean, we still got another half hour of rugby to play. So we'll see what happens.
Unfortunately for them, the try is gonna, the conversion is gonna be, where's the conversion?
I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch them kick it. I suspect there might have been some kind of penalty involved there, and they maybe just I really don't know, if I'm being completely honest. But
yeah, I wish we had someone on the field to hand us that information, but unfortunately,
our carrier pigeon's a little late today, so.
The Broncos score again, now lead 24-7, and are maintaining possession here.
Real long pass there, pretty accurate.
Trying to break to the outside, runs into a couple Oregon State defenders.
And that's going to be a knock-on, I believe, for the Broncos. But Oregon State says, screw the scrum, we'll just take the ball and go.
Yep. They maintain possession out of the ruck.
And a whistle. Possible 10-meter penalty here? Or a scrum? Looking like a scrum. Didn't quite see what was called there, but Oregon State setting up their offense right now, as they have.
We got a Bronco, an injured Bronco, I believe. She was trying to power through, but she's gonna have to come off the field here.
She's limping off the field slowly. You hate to see that. I hope she's okay. She looks like she's in real pain.
Yeah. The referee doesn't.
I mean, is she gonna continue to play? She looks like she has a torn ACL or something. They gotta stop the play here. She's hobbling. This is honestly, this is ridiculous, but play on.
Ball's coming right at her, ready to make a play. Teammate bails her out with a great tackle.
And they're gonna be on defense, the Broncos.
Yeah, really laboring.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm really worried about, I think that's their 11. No, they're 15. Yeah, it's their 15. Their wing out there. We'll get a name for you as soon as we can. Oh, and we have a sub coming in. They're number 6.
Olivia
then
Wood.
they changed their mind. They brought the sub back out. Interesting.
Olivia Wood there.
Olivia Wood.
Powering through some discomfort.
Boise State taking over possession here.
Great drive there by the Broncos.
Olivia Wood is communicating with the sideline. Finally, we'll get somebody out.
Yeah.
Grab her out of the game. Hope she's okay. She goes off under her own power. She'll probably get checked out by the medical staff. Right, up the middle for the Broncos.
Our captain, Franzak.
She's still driving. I think they might call that a hands in. I believe that was the call, was hands in. Against the Broncos, Oregon State will take over with a quick toe tap, and they're on their way up the middle.
Beavers maintaining possession right around the midway mark of the field.
She's a good offload opportunity to the right, and it goes out of bounds. Really unfortunate there. Should be another line out. Advantage Boise State this time.
Tried to keep possession moving there, but might have been smarter to maybe force a ruck and see if they could have maintained possession that way. Now the Broncos will have the advantage on this line out.
And as we approach the 30-minute mark of this second half, you are watching Boise State women's rugby versus Oregon State women's rugby. score for us, as you can see, is 24-7. Been a real good, real physical game today here out in Boise, Idaho. Conditions are starting to warm up a little bit, honestly. This is about park weather. You can see some people over in the sand volleyball court right next to the pitch. Yeah, it's playing some sand volleyball. It's real fun as we get underway for play.
We said it was a beautiful day. It was just chilly, and thankfully the sun is warming things up here.
Nice little bobble catch there from their, I want to say their 14s out there right now. They're going to have a little pod going up the middle here. She gets broken down. One thing I'm starting to notice with the Broncos offense is they're running in little pods of 3. And that kind of helps organize what's going on for the forwards, kind of organize who's with who and where they should be looking to pass. If we see them get up the middle again, see right there, those 3 are running together. They're 2 scrum cap lady and then I believe their 17 captain.
We had to stop play because we have an injury right by the ball.
It's an Oregon State player. And she looks real hurt.
Teams are coming off the field here. We're fully stop and play as we have some concern for the Oregon State player that's down. Try and get a number for you when you can.
I believe that's their number 9. Hannah Newen, I believe.
Sorry, no, that is Kayla Stanley.
Oh, excuse me.
Kayla Stanley for Oregon State.
Hope she's okay. She was holding that arm pretty intensely.
Yep, checking the shoulders, collarbone. But it's looking like we're going to resume play. She is up, off on the sideline. Clock stopped at 28:41 for the injury.
You know, and Oregon State kind of has to hope and pray that the injury bug doesn't bite them again. Their sideline is looking pretty thin right now, as is the Broncos.
Yeah, you know.
And there's not a lot of players on either bench to really come in and replace. So hopefully everybody stays healthy, and I hope that everybody who's not healthy gets healthy soon.
Yeah, we were talking to Oregon State's coach before the game, said there was a couple unfortunate injuries, a couple changes to the roster that we were given. So, agreed. Health is of the utmost importance for these athletes.
Well, drop ball. Don't think it'll be a knock on those. Backward pass. And she's putting the moves on the Beavers right now. She goes down.
Slipped through the hands of the Bronco there, but her teammate able to pick it up.
The team right there behind her.
As you said, Alex, running in that little triangle, that trio.
Yeah, it's depending on who the coach is, it's called the pod system, I believe, and it's just organizational way of keeping things easy, especially if you have some new players on the team. Not necessarily the case for Boise State. They actually have a pretty experienced team.
Yeah.
But definitely a good system, and one that I think head coach Connor Williams has implemented pretty well.
Great move there as the Broncos are knocking on the door again.
They're going to swing it out wide left here. There's 6 has the ball, and she's going to truck her way. And that is a try as she slams the ball into the try zone.
Kaya Strang getting in there for the Broncos, adding to their lead. It will be 29-7 with the conversion upcoming.
It's gonna be a long kick. I mean, if she makes this, it'd be quite impressive.
Yeah, Broncos scored on the far left side from our vantage point, so the kick will come from the far left.
And we want to apologize. We have some trees in the way of our cameras, but I assure you I have a better view as I'm looking over the edge of the parking lot, so I'll let you know what's happening.
Kicker for the Broncos, number 10.
Looks like a lefty kicker. And it is up, a little short, little left. No good.
Leland Hewitt, short on this one, but he's hit a couple conversions already for the Broncos today.
Boise State will get ready to receive the kick. Not sure. Oh, Oregon State still in the try zone, having a little huddle. Taking some time off the clock, though, to have a little group meeting. Talk about, I don't know what they're talking about, maybe about new strategies, some things to fix there, but.
As they face a daunting 22-point deficit with about 26 minutes to go.
It's a 4-possession game right now, if my math is correct. It's going to be a tough hole to dig out of, but not impossible. But I mean, the way that these two teams have been playing, it's been physical and slow, and then all of a sudden something big will happen.
Yep, gotta get that going for the Beavers a couple times in a row here.
I really don't know about the decision to be kicking it deep. I mean, when you're the kicking team, you do have the opportunity. The ball only has to go to the 10-meter mark, which I believe is that dotted line. Yep. They can kick it right there and try to contest it, kind of like an onside kick. They're just electing to kick it deep into Boise State territory, give them the ball.
Yeah, chewing off a lot of clock, unfortunately, as the Broncos have been maintaining possession and doing a great job of it, coming out of all of these rucks.
As they knock the ball in.
But, again, another announcer's jinx on my end, and Oregon State will have advantage for this scrum.
I have to say, with how many new players on Oregon State, their scrum game is really good. I mean, I think everybody on the Broncos, at least to start the game, had collegiate rugby experience. I know a lot of players for the Oregon State, not even high school rugby experience, so they have to be proud of that at least.
Yep, 11 players today for Oregon State playing their first collegiate rugby match, which is crazy to think about, as there are 15 players on their field at one time. So
seriously,
lots of new for the Beavers.
Potential knee injury here for a Bronco player.
Yeah, it looked like they went knee to knee there.
That's going to be tough. And the Oregon State player didn't see her as well. She says she's okay. We can hear her. She's fine. The Oregon State player, not so much.
Definitely, even though she was the driving force on the hit, took the brunt of it for sure. She's just now getting to her feet.
That's got to be tough. Yeah, she's looking like she's in pain, but I mean, they're just going to keep playing the game. No, maybe not. They'll have a stoppage
quick
here.
Stoppage. Ref now saw it. Looks like number 3 for Oregon State, Carly McGee, their captain, dealing with a little bit of knee injury there.
Big loss for them. She's going to receive some medical attention from the staff down on the field, and we will resume play here.
Wow, great tackle there by the Broncos.
Getting the ball out wide. It's just a shoestring hanging on there. She gets the ball out, and I think it might have been a forward pass. So the Broncos will get the advantage back. Not something the Beavers want, of course, but something the Beavers will get as we get ready here to resume play after a scrum.
Yeah.
Set called from the Sir as Boise State's forward will get ready to take the ball out, and we're underway. And another whistle as we continue to play politics here.
Forward pass, according to the referee. A little bit of a late call there.
Could be a big opportunity for Oregon State. I mean, the Broncos had to line up 10 meters back in front of the ball as Oregon State was able to toe tap it and go. And they're not going to have a numbers advantage out here to the outside, so they might try to switch up directions or just go right up the middle.
Yep, they're sticking to it, right up the gut.
Interesting play here, and a kick, and then a knock.
Smart kick there, though.
That was a real smart kick. I want to see more of that. But unfortunately, the receiver was unable to secure the ball. Oregon State will take back over.
Advantage to them in this scrum. Right at the midway mark, right above the B there.
You know, speaking of kicking, I mean, if you're Oregon State, you got to start thinking about kicking it downfield once you get possession and just trying to race the Broncos to the try zone. I mean, that's absolutely an option whenever they have the ball.
Without a doubt. They can't seem to break past this midway line right now.
Yeah.
Broncos just continuing to put on pressure, multiple defenders at every ball. Very impressive start.
They have a numbers advantage on the wide right. She's got to offload that, and it's a forward pass.
Tried.
Broncos will take over possession anyways. A really nice pass, but couldn't hang on, and what would the call be here? Both players kind of knocked it. Not sure what the sir is going to call here. Signaling towards Oregon State hanging onto the ball.
Yeah.
So we approach the 20-minute mark. If you're not sure what you're watching, I will tell you right now. You're watching Boise State women's rugby versus the Oregon State team. Playing here in a beautiful day in Boise, Idaho. The sun is out. People are playing beach volleyball right to our next door. And we got some nice autumn colors out here. Stay tuned. Moses, you want to tell them what we got coming up next?
Yeah, in a couple hours we have the men's going. We have the Boise State men's team facing off against the University of Washington Huskies men's team. So that'll be later on, I believe, 3 o'clock.
It's going to be a good game. Two big schools there.
So stay tuned for that. We still got about 19:36 in this game. Broncos with a 22-point lead right now, 29-7.
And a whistle.
And back to the scrum issues that we experienced in the first half.
I mean, really at this point, this plays into the advantage for Boise State.
Just chewing clock.
Absolutely. Wide pad. You know, it's tough to pass to your right because your strong arm, your controlling arm is your left arm. You're passing to the right, so it's pretty typical. I mean, depending on the skill level of the team, I know. Back in my long one-year career, I couldn't pass to my right for the life of me. But
Broncos finally getting back on the attacking end. Not like they needed to, but they've just been happy playing defense for the last few minutes, but looking for some more points now.
you know, I could have swore that was a knock-on, and yeah, looks like it was. And Oregon State will get a chance at another scrum as we are at 18 minutes left in our match, first match of the day today. And I gotta wonder how much it hurts to get tackled on that turf, you know. I mean, we got some excess rubber up here on the ground. I don't know where it's from, but I mean, that sliding on that cold turf has got to be really painful.
Yeah,
so
scrape you up.
Yeah, hats off to players down there playing some tough physical rugby right now.
Without a doubt. So we finally get the scrum to play, and play is back underway. Oregon State, oh,
Big play up the middle here.
big burst up the middle.
And she drops the ball.
She fumbled it. That was number 12 for Oregon State, Izzy Dane.
Oh, but she'll maintain possession. Not exactly sure what happened there.
Nice burst of speed up the middle for the Beavers.
They're going to try to pull it out wide here.
Oh, what a hit.
Wow. Oh, and she looks hurt. No, she's up, though. She's okay.
Wow.
Big play down the side here for Oregon
Kept
State.
streaking down the sideline after her teammate took the big hit.
And they're going to bring it back around the other side.
Trying to switch the field.
You know, right now, if you're Oregon State, you want to get moving fast and get more numbers out to the right side of the field. Or just go right up the middle.
Yep. No time to waste if you're the Beavers, as we are now at about 16:27 left in the half.
And I think they're going to... I thought wrong. I thought they were going to swing it out wide because they actually did game it. And they still have a numbers advantage, though. The field is a little short. They're swinging it out wide, not moving forward very much. And
Kept it in there.
Really impressive. That was by the hair of her chinny chin chin. And they're going to try to pull her out of bounds, probably. No, that'll be maintained possession for Oregon State.
Oregon State maintains the ruck. Too many Beavers in one tight area there.
I mean, one thing you'll notice is Oregon State was at the halfway mark of the field there, and they passed their way back into their own territory. So not exactly ideal there. And now Boise State has great field position and are set up pretty well to score here. I don't know what's happening there. That looks difficult. Oh, and they got a big numbers advantage on the right side. They're going to try to swing this thing out to the row. Unless Oregon State here, they get the ball back. Good defensive stop.
The Broncos. Good D by Oregon. Be there.
Hurt player out there. Not sure what's the problem, but looks like she's going to tough through it.
Sub coming on for Oregon. Number 5 coming on for the Beavers. That is Sydney Wagner.
We're approaching, not even approaching, we're actually past the 15-minute mark in this half. You're watching University Television Productions here at Boise State broadcasting Boise State, Oregon State women's rugby. Up next we got University of Washington coming to pay a visit to the men's Bronco rugby team. Should be a good match, 3 p.m.
If you also haven't heard, women's rugby, new kits today, their first time wearing these new uniforms, courtesy of St. Luke's, the sponsor for all of club sports at Boise State University. Big shout out to St. Luke's.
Not sure what the sir is going to call here, because by my eyes, though sometimes flawed, it looks like she knocked it but then stepped out of bounds afterwards. So this could be a line out or it could be a scrum. I believe they're setting up for the line out, yeah.
Line out, Oregon State controls.
If you're Oregon State, I'm not sure why you're waiting so long. I mean, you want to get this ball out as soon as possible. Bad throw, but good catch. Oregon State will take the ball.
Trying to swing it.
Oh, I hit her right in the face. Oh, and a stiff arm. Seeing some Ashton Junty moves out there if there's any Heisman hopeful followers out there. That was kind of cool to watch.
Oregon.
Another kick.
State with the punt.
You know, I can't say I agree with these decisions to kick the ball when you're down this many points. I mean, at this point, you're probably losing this game. You want to at least try to practice your offense probably as much as possible at this point. But they do get the ball back, so I guess I'm completely wrong.
She was about one broken tackle away there from streaking downfield for a score, but Broncos D stays tight.
Oregon State has another numbers advantage out to the right, but we get a whistle. Setting up for a scrum, I believe. Looking like that.
Sub coming on for the Broncos, number 20, Kylie Anzara, USA team select player, very skilled rugby player for the Broncos team. We're about at the 12-minute mark now in the second half. Broncos still maintaining a large lead. It's 29-7. Oregon State with possession, looking to get on the board. They haven't scored here in the second
Real
half.
slick behind the back pass there. That was impressive. Unfortunately, she's tackled there, but they'll maintain possession. And a knock. She knew it right off the bat. We'll get a whistle here more than likely. Unless Boise State just snags the ball. Surge's in there checking out exactly what's happening. I can't, yeah, okay. Boise State has the ball now. Tough to see there, but.
Wow.
Wow, indeed, as Boise State has a hole up the middle and a numbers advantage to the right, and you would have loved to see it pass out to the wing there. And we get it, and looks like she's in. No flag, no whistle yet.
Nothing yet.
And we're getting some cheering here.
That looked like it was from the Oregon State side.
Oh,
I think they got the stop.
Wow, and you know what I think might have happened? I mentioned earlier, you have to tap the ball with pressure into the try zone for it to be considered a score. So if an Oregon State player got her hand underneath the ball, preventing it from touching the turf, and stripped it away, that means it's Oregon's ball. And I think that might have been what just happened.
Exactly what happened. What a stand there for the Beavers, right on the try line.
Really impressive.
Scrum favoring Oregon State. Oh.
Tough to see from here.
Oregon State player did have the ball. She just handed it off to the Bronco player, though. It looks like the Broncos are going to be feeding it in. They maintain possession.
And I guess the mystery will stand what exactly happened. Oh, big contact
big
there.
Hit, and she takes it.
Yeah, ball touched.
And
that's going to be a try.
Scores the try for the Broncos.
He's making the same signal
something
that he did, in the previous play. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. I mean, by my eyes, I saw the ball touch the ground. Not exactly sure what's happening. I guess another scrum. The Broncos will have to try again.
A little bit closer this time for the Broncos. Just inching up toward the Beavers try zone.
We're under 10 minutes here. I mean, what have you seen so far, Moses, that's really excited you, maybe got you down about today's match?
You know, great second half for the Broncos. Added a bit to their lead, played solid defense. For Oregon, wish there was a little more fight in the second half. Unfortunately for them, couldn't find a way to break through the Broncos' strong defense. At least so far. We still got 8 minutes, 30 seconds, so we'll see. But just a couple things to look back on for Oregon this game. Watch penalties, maintain possession. But their defense has they've been playing hard.
They have been playing hard. I mean, they've been getting in this low zone here on the goal line and making stands. I mean, if this is another scrum, this would be the third one in a row where they've gotten over the goal line, but no score.
And it's looking like that's what we got, but it wasn't a scrum this time. It was just a straight.
And they're over the line again. And only the sir knows what happened. The crowd's cheering now, looking like a try. Yeah.
We got a try for Boise State. I believe that was number 20, Kylie and Zara, who got it in there for the Broncos. Powering through the Beavers defense. And again, adding to the Broncos' already quite sizable lead, now jumping to 34-7 with 7:20 to go in the second half.
Well, I gotta say, this has been a fun game to watch. I mean, good defense and some explosive plays from Boise State. Absolutely looking like a powerhouse.
For sure.
Got to be happy with, will more than likely be a win for them.
And we know this team can put up points. You know, their first matchup of the season, they put up 43 on Utah State on this field. That was a couple weeks ago. Wow, took a tough loss to Montana State in Montana last week, 19-29. But a big bounce back game for the Broncos today. With still 6:30 to go, but just a lot of positives to look back on for sure.
For Oregon State, you just got to be excited that you got some experience under your belt.
Yep.
I mean,
first game.
Absolutely. And, you know,
started off on a high note.
For real, they were leading. They were leading, but not anymore. Not anymore.
Yep. The Broncos, after their slow start, have figured things out, found their groove, and have not looked back.
Some tough running and a nice offload there. Yeah, I think if you're Oregon State, you're not too disappointed about the result here today. I mean, first game on, we got a big run here.
Again, the captain, Ali Franzak, driving multiple Beaver defenders with her down the field.
Nice pass out to the left. We've got the numbers. Nice offload to the wing, and that's going to be a try.
Another try for the Broncos.
This is tough for the Beavers here. I mean, kind of given up hope about winning the game at this point. Oh, and we got a player holding their head for Oregon State. She looks like she's hurt.
This time, number 6 getting in, Kaya Strang.
She is holding her head. I hope it's not a concussion.
I did see her go down when Captain Ali Franzak was driving up the field right before the try. Didn't see the exact contact, but hopefully she is okay.
Under 5 minutes here in the match. Wrapping up Beavers and Broncos women's rugby here today. Up next, Moses, you want to tell them what we got cooking?
Yes, we do. We got the men's rugby team facing off against the Washington Huskies men's rugby team. Should be an exciting matchup. The Boise State men's have been off to a really solid start this season. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting match.
And we got to pay a special thanks to St. Luke's Hospital for sponsoring Broncos Club Sports, so they're able to even come out here and play in the first place. I mean, as you can see, we got some pretty slick new uniforms for the women's team, and I'm sure the men's team will have their own swag on as well today. It's an exciting time. I mean, you've played sports before, Moses, right?
Yep.
What's going through your head if you're a relatively new team like Oregon State, getting blown out, but I mean, you got some foundation to build on. What might be going through your head as a player?
Without a doubt, you know, obviously the loss is tough. You never want to lose, especially in a blowout fashion. But as we said, they started off the game hot, first try, first score, and they are definitely a lot of positives to take for the Beavers from this game. Their defense, as we said, even though they have allowed 41 points, has been very solid, been playing well as a unit, considering this is their first time being on the pitch in a game scenario. So overall, as unfortunate as the score is, lots of positives for the Beaver and lots of potential to build on this game.
Couldn't agree more with you there, Moses. So we're approaching 2 minutes. And, you know, I think for the Broncos, I mean, you just got to be proud for the physicality and the discipline, I think, on both sides, offense and defense. And, I mean, that's reflected on the scoreboard, absolutely. I mean, once they got that first score, you know, they smelled blood and just kept going. Two-minute mark here.
Yep, as we reach this 2-minute mark, we want to thank you all at home for tuning in, watching. If you're just now tuning in, we still want to thank you. We appreciate it. Supporting women's rugby and supporting Boise State University television productions. So it means a lot to us. Thank you for being here.
Also want to shout out the team, the crew, all the camera men, women, and children out here shooting, sticking it out in the cold, as well as our lovely control room team over here calling and directing. Very impressive stuff today. Really blessed to have such a great team around us.
Couldn't get it done without this group effort.
Yeah, I could probably. Just kidding.
But another try here for the Broncos.
Oh, did we miss it?
We did.
Well, that's why we get amazing cameramen.
Man.
Under a minute here. I mean,
It's looking like Leland Hewitt is going to end her kicking day on the right note with a successful conversion.
there's a lot of points in like, what, 6 minutes?
Yeah, they poured it on there in that last little brief spur of the game.
I mean, I think as a player, that's just more of a mental thing. I mean, you're getting blown out.
Mental conditioning too, like we said, their first game.
Absolutely.
They traveled in last night, sleeping in a hotel. Obviously the Broncos are home, got that home field advantage.
Time advantage as well.
Time advantage, a lot of things, a lot of factors that Oregon State had to deal with. So props to them for showing up, playing, albeit, although the score doesn't say it, a very solid game.
Definitely a great foundation to build on. We got another big play for the Broncos, but wrapped up, good tackle. We're going into bonus time, and the Sir, is he going to say play on here? I mean, I guess so. They're on a drive. You got to keep going. And team captain, another great try to wrap up the game.
Yep.
And I believe that is, now I could be mistaken on this, but I believe style points do count when it comes to rugby. So I believe depending on your margin of victory, you get a certain amount of bonus points when it comes to standings and bids and things of that nature for postseason play. Absolutely could be wrong. But I could be right too, so that'd be kind of cool. We have our producer over here telling me to laugh at my co-host here for his silly haircut.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that's about. Real toxic behavior, especially after we're thanking all of those people in the control room. I suppose a little bit of mutiny on ship is to be expected.
Yep.
Sorry about that, Moses.
No worries, you're all good, man.
I'm embarrassed.
I don't take it to heart. As we wrap up this game here, the final of 55-7. Thank you again to all the fans that made it out today.
Not you though, Macy. Not thanking you, Macy.
Not you, mate. I mean, Macy, if you want to comment, let me know a couple things. I would love to see what you didn't like.
I'm not going to read it.
You can find me at my email, mosesfamino@u.boisestate.edu. Just let me know. I'm more than willing to. I'd love to learn. So.
I think I've done enough learning today.
Big shout out again to St. Luke's for being the sponsor of Boise State Club Sports and allowing for new jerseys, tournaments, travel, all those things. This was University Television Productions hosting the women's rugby game. We will have men's for you here in a couple hours on the YouTube, so stay tuned to that.
And for now, we will leave you. Final score again, 55-7, Boise State toppling the visitor Oregon State Beavers. Thank you for watching. This has been Alex Simeone calling colors and
Mose Famino signing off. Thank you, everyone.
So on, folks.